So this is my work laptop. It's a nice laptop, it's by Dell. Only caveat with that, just looking at it, it is very much a gaming laptop. So why do I use this for work? Is it a good idea to use this for work? That's what I want to talk about today. There are a lot of advantages and disadvantages to using something like a gaming laptop in a work environment and not necessarily for gaming. And I want to talk about whether you should do it, what those advantages and disadvantages are, and why I do it, to hopefully help you decide if you want to get a gaming laptop for your workplace, or just something basic. But the first thing I should address is, why do I use this gaming laptop for work? Now, a lot of the work that I do both on YouTube and professionally is video editing, and very GPU heavy rendering tasks. And so something like this laptop's RTX, the dedicated graphics card that this laptop has, is very helpful. Actually, while we're here clarifying, this is a Dell G15 5520 with a few mods, like a Sabrent rocket for the SSD, and 32 gigs of memory. I got this laptop for $1,200, but I also got it on sale. One of the major benefits of a laptop like this being used in a workplace is it's just more powerful. This one has a 12th gen i5, which is 12 cores, 8 efficiency, 4 performance, and like I've already stated, the RTX graphics card. Generally, because people playing games on gaming laptops, which requires a lot of power, they will have a lot more oomph to them than a standard office laptop. But there's caveats, like they're more expensive. Here are some other options that you could get that are more work-based, that are around the same price tag of $1,200. So all of these are around the same price tag. I've got 3 options that I found, 2 of which are on sale. This one's on sale. It's a MacBook Air 13-inch with the M1 chip, not M2, but the M1 was still pretty good. It's going to be far more light and portable, and is the Apple option, not at all a bad laptop. But I myself am a Windows person, and what if you are too? I found this option, which is not on sale, which has an Intel i5, and while it's probably lighter, it is running an 11th gen i5, and is in reality actively a worse laptop, specs-wise, in every way than the other one was. And so unless you need it to be really light, there is no reason to choose this one over the gaming laptop. But then if we go to something on sale, we've got this MSI modern laptop, which is full HD and has a 13th gen i7, which is only 10 cores, which is actually less cores overall. That CPU is very close to the 12th gen i5 actually. Is running DDR4 RAM, whereas the other one was running DDR5. Iris Xe graphics. In reality, none of these laptops specs-wise really compared to the gaming laptop, even if you're not particularly looking at the GPU. The 2 Windows ones I showed you both run Intel Iris Xe, which is integrated graphics. Even just looking at the CPUs and the RAM, it's just flat out worse in every case. But one thing that's important to keep in mind is usually if you're buying an office laptop for work, you're not going to be spending this much. Generally, it'd be closer to between $600 and $800 if you're just buying it for like your Word and PowerPoint and Excel. While none of these are bad laptops by any means, and if you're going to go Apple and MacBooks, I would actually recommend this over the gaming laptop. Overall, I would still recommend the gaming laptop over any of these, if this is your price range. And so there are some options of very similar power, but almost all of those options lack the graphics card, as established. Okay. But what about the downsides of a gaming laptop? Everyone knows the battery sucks on a gaming laptop. That would be inconvenient in a workplace, right? Yes and no. The battery is probably bigger than most office laptops. The problem is that it drains it faster. But that's for the most part if you're gaming. While things like the 12th gen i5 are always using a fair chunk of power, this laptop and most other gaming laptops have one very big benefit. This has 2 graphics cards, Intel Iris Xe, and is what a lot of other office laptops run on, as well as the RTX. The thing is, they run in a configuration that is very similar to SLI. They're both running at the same time, even when you don't have another monitor attached. That is because while they can't dedicate both of their power to one thing, for less intensive tasks, they use the Intel Iris Xe, and more intensive, they use the GeForce. Of course, the good thing being that Intel Iris Xe takes far less power. And so assuming that you're taking all the steps, like turning your brightness down, turning off your backlighting when you don't need it, which that's one thing, that's a feature that even some office laptops have. But that's one thing, that's a feature that even most office laptops have. And turn things down like the refresh rate, as this is a 120Hz monitor. This laptop has gotten me through a full day without needing a charge before. Cause once you've disabled all these other things, you're essentially just running an office laptop. It will still be more powerful, but considering it's got the bigger battery, it will run for a similar amount of time as an office laptop, assuming you're being careful. And so if you're taking the necessary steps, battery isn't necessarily an issue. And plus, if you're in a workplace, most likely like I've got here, you're carrying the charger with you. Most laptops that go in a workplace, you've got the charger. Now, one of the biggest drawbacks of a laptop like this is its size. This one has a 15.6-inch screen, which while it makes it seem not that large, it's also got this bit out the back, which adds a fair bit of size to it, which means if you're running a tight laptop bag before with a 15.6-inch monitor, you're probably not going to be able to run that same bag. For instance, this is my laptop bag. It is majorly overkill, but that's because I carry a lot of stuff in there, and it slots just in there. It can also be quite heavy, and for the weight of it, it is just under 3 kilograms, or just under 6 pounds for the American, which is by no means the heaviest thing in the world, but when you've got that sitting on your shoulder all day, on a laptop bag, or even a backpack, it can be quite heavy, especially when Google states that business laptops weigh around 4 pounds on average, or closer to just under 2 kilos, which is almost double the weight. As well as it's got a lot of ventilation because it needs to draw in a lot of cool air for cooling down the graphics card, which can be quite loud, but for the most part, that won't kick up until you're actually using it. I've never had a problem with its volume unless I'm actively using the RTX. I've also heard a few people talk about how these laptops don't look professional per se. And while yes, sure, it's got the Dell G for the gaming line on the side and has orange backlighting, I think just by looking at it, it's pretty safe to say it's full black, it's got a nice finish. I think it looks more than acceptable for pretty much any workplace. Those are all of the major drawbacks and upsides, but overall, should you get a gaming laptop? This is for school, this is for office work, pretty much any professional type setting. In my opinion, it really depends on the workplace, but for the most part, yes. If your workplace is an animator, or you're doing a lot of digital rendering, or 3D modeler, a lot of more graphics intensive things, that dedicated graphics unit is such a large benefit and will make everything so much smoother. And so if you're going to do tasks that use your graphics card, video rendering, animating, even some uni courses and jobs like architects will benefit from it. But if you're just going through like high school and you're not taking any media courses, or your job is just documents and Excel, while it would still have its benefits, like for example, if you want to use it outside of the workplace, that wasn't the main subject of today, but the fact is, unless it's company policy or school policy, you could always just use it for gaming after work if that's what you're into. I would still recommend a gaming laptop if you've got the budget and you're okay with the downsides like the size. But if you just need something light, compact, and your budget's a bit lower, and or you just don't need it, then I would recommend spending the money on a good office laptop, as the same cost might get you a better CPU, for example, which will give you a difference in things like Excel, Word, PowerPoint. Not a big one, because they're pretty easy software to run, but a difference. If you're working with massive data sets, it might help a lot. That's me talking about if you should use a gaming laptop for your school or office work. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video and I hope it helped out a ton. If you want to see more tech content by me, please make sure to subscribe. I'm a small creator and it helps out a ton. I do anything here from just tech tips like this one, to building, to challenges. If it's computer related, I probably do it on here. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Comment whatever laptop or system you use for your workplace. I'm curious. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.